everyone. My name is Ilya Davidson, and today I will be reading the Aware series, Aslam Didi and the Dog in Braille. Aslam Didi and the Dog. Didi is happy. It's time for food. Didi says thank you in her own way. Didi thinks she is a brave cat. Speech bubble. Can you help bath him? But Didi does not like Dirty Dog. Didi is safe in the tree. Dirty Dog is getting a bath today. Dirty Dog does not want a bath. Catch him! Dirty Dog is running away. They chase Dirty Dog. He chases Didi. But Didi has a clever plan. Now everyone has a bath. Not Didi.
Well, good evening, everyone. Oh, gosh. I know last year we were in Santon, but we can still be happy. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bongani Bingwa, as some of you can see on the screen behind me. I'm the host of 702 Breakfast, and it is my absolute thrill to be with you this evening. This is the 5th AVBOB Road to Literacy campaign event. It is my second, and if you were impressed last year by the little learner, please can we have a round of applause, because Ilya Davidson from the Athlone School of the Blind did a fantastic job. I also am pleased to tell you, as you can see, I have two colleagues who are going to be with me throughout the evening, our sign language interpreters. Nicoline Dutoy is here. Our other colleague, Andy Swakebashe, will also join us later on. A round of applause for them too. So, my great pleasure is really, I suppose, to introduce all the important people who've got a lot of important things to say. But perhaps my only opportunity this evening to tell you a little bit about myself will be now. I'm a dad, and my daughter could look just like all of you ladies from the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for girls. You sang beautifully, by the way. The OLAG choir, as we like to call them. And she absolutely hates one thing about me, and that is because I tell dad jokes all the time. So today, she has been relieved of her pain, and it's time for all of you to suffer. I mean, no, honestly. The thing about dad jokes, so I have this friend, Tony, and Tony hates my dad jokes. And one of the things he always asks, outside of me not telling dad jokes, is to never spell his name backwards. And I always ask, why not? The great part of dad jokes is that delayed reaction. Today is all about literacy and numeracy. These are subjects that are close to my heart. You'll see there's a little piece I've written about this. In fact, so important is all of this to me, I even talk to my dogs about it. The other day, I asked them to divide 100 by naught. And they looked at me, and I said, well, do it. I said, what's 100 divided by naught? They said, nothing. Which actually, if you really are a maths buff, is in fact a really bad joke. Because mathematically, that's not quite the answer. All right, enough of my nonsense and my dad jokes. But really, tonight we are here to celebrate. We are here to recognize efforts. We are here to understand what is possible when partnerships are formed. Partnerships that become meaningful and that have an impact to our communities, to our society, to our country, and indeed to our world. But perhaps just one last dad joke. What happens to a malfunctioning escalator? It just stares. Okay, I'm going to come to Olag and tell more jokes because they clearly get them. Without any further ado, folks, let's get serious perhaps for a moment. I'm going to ask all of us to please stand, and could the Olag choir join us and lead us in the singing of our national anthem? If you've ever, if you've ever watched a live sports game, when the players, be it Bafana Bafana or the Boca, are singing the national anthem and the cameras are panning on their faces, I felt a little like that. Gosh, does he know every word to the national anthem? I came across a really frightening statistic recently. 97% of all blind people in this country are unemployed. Imagine if that were true of any other demographic. And that's really part of what is so special about tonight, is how this Road to Literacy campaign seeks to find even those who at times get ignored. Imagine what the skills of literacy and numeracy can mean to a person who is visually impaired, a child whose choices may seem limited at some stage in their life. But this is exactly what tonight is about. It's opening those doors. It's saying there is an escape. There is a way out. Again, we have the OLAC girls here today. What is it that Oprah always says? She says, I've never met anybody who is smart who doesn't read. Because if nothing else, what reading allows you to do is at the very least quote somebody else's words who is smart. And that's at least a start. So tonight, I'm going to invite on the stage Ms. Kebo Mosweusweu, who is the General Manager of AVBOB for Shared Value and Sustainability, to do the official welcome.
Thank you, Program Director. Dumelang. Absheni, Sanibonani, and what am I missing? Molweni. Yes, Huyanand. And Demadekwana, there you go. Program Director, Minister of Basic Education, Ms. Siviwe Gwahube. Distinguished guests from the public and private sectors, esteemed leaders across education, development, and community structures, members of AVBOB board, leadership, and colleagues, members of Oxford University Press, Southern Africa, leadership and colleagues, our valued educators, members of the community at large, and of course, the most important people in the room, our learners. Good evening. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome you to this important event this evening, the 2026 AVBOB Road to Literacy Beneficiary Announcement event. Today brings together a collective of committed stakeholders who share a common purpose to advance education, strengthen communities, and invest meaningfully in the future of our country. At AVBOB, we recognize that sustainable impact is not achieved in isolation. It is through the collaboration between government, the private sector, and communities that we are able to create programs that are not only responsive, but transformative. Your presence here today affirms a shared commitment to building an inclusive and empowered society where every learner has access to opportunity and every teacher is supported to inspire excellence. We extend our sincere appreciation to all leaders across sectors who continue to champion initiatives that drive literacy, numeracy, social development, and progress. To our educators, you remain the backbone of our education system. To our learners, You are the reason we do this work. The future leaders, innovators, and change makers of tomorrow. And who knows, maybe the future CEO of AVBOB is amongst our learners here today. We are equally grateful to the leadership of AVBOB and the team whose continued dedication to position the shared value and sustainability of AVBOB at the heart of our organization and purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, let me not go any further, but it is now my distinct honor to introduce a leader who continues to play a pivotal role in shaping the future of education in South Africa. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Honorable Minister of Basic Education, Ms. Mosweusweu.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much to the choir that serenaded us earlier. Just like Bongani, I was also thinking about my rugby moment, and it was truly, really, really beautiful. Program director and the acting CEO of AVBOB, I'm in two minds about telling this joke. But perhaps it might be appreciated tonight. So, as I'm seated next to these two lovely ladies, one of them looks over my screen and they see that I'd cited the CEO incorrectly, and they say this particular person has since left us. So I pause, thinking, okay. Now what do I say? And then I say, they've left us. And they both say, yes. He has since left us. So and then I say to them, guys, you are AVBOB. Can you tell me how? And they were like, no, he has since left the company. I was like, okay, all right, okay. So, to the acting CEO, my apologies for that. I'm glad to see you here, but it truly was it was an awkward moment for me because I didn't want to be awkward to them. So, I thought, should I say I'm sorry, or should I first ascertain what's going on? So, thank you very, very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot put into words just how incredibly happy I am to stand before you once again as we mark another milestone in one of the most impactful, I think, public-private partnerships in our education sector, the AVBOB Road to Literacy campaign. And let me begin with a powerful yet simple idea. No institution thrives in isolation. So the most successful companies in the world understand the value that creation is not confined to balance sheets. It's embedded in the communities that they serve. Businesses do not operate apart from society, they operate as part of it. And the long-term sustainability of companies is directly tied to the well-being, the education, and the prosperity of communities around them. So the embedded theory of sustainability is the philosophical underpinning of our partnership with AVBOB. And that is why the AVBOB Road to Literacy initiative continues to grow from strength to strength. Program Director, you were with us here last year. The relationship between the Department of Basic Education and AVBOB is not new. It is a trusted, evolving, and ever-growing partnership, now entering its 5th year. And I want to say something briefly about partnerships that are sustainable. And I often say to our corporate partners that if we are to be partners, then we need to partner and walk this journey together. It doesn't help to simply just do a CSI project or Mandela Day project. That's not sustainable. But this is what true partnership looks like. This is what true partnership means, because you are walking the journey with us in terms of trying to make sure that we resolve the literacy crisis in our country. What began as a bold idea has become a national movement. Last year, AVBOB donated 1,000 library trolleys to 1,000 schools, each filled with 500 books in different languages, a massive contribution to improving literacy in levels in the country. This was a feat many would not have thought possible. But AVBOB said, well, hold our drink. We will donate 2,000 trolley libraries this year to 2,000 schools. Each filled with 500 books. This brings this year's donation from AVBOB to a massive 115 million rand worth of books. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's growth, that's conviction, that is dedication. That is saying we understand the scale of the problem and we are willing to partner with you to get it resolved. And that is impact. And beyond these numbers is something far more profound, and that's the impact this has on children, particularly in underserved areas. Today's AVBOB libraries reach over, listen to this, today's AVBOB trolley libraries reach over a quarter of South Africa's schools. There are 24,000 schools in South Africa, and AVBOB's trolley libraries have reached a quarter of those schools. I think that deserves a round of applause. In a country as vast and as diverse as ours, one company's initiative is now touching the lives of millions of learners, bringing books, imagination, and possibility into classrooms that would otherwise go without. This is not corporate social responsibility, it's nation building. We can only appreciate this level of impact if we are clear about what is at stake. Early grade reading, literacy, and numeracy are not just education priorities, they are economic imperatives. A child who cannot read for meaning by age 10 is unlikely to succeed in school. A child who struggles with numeracy cannot pursue STEM subjects and is locked out of entire sectors of our economy for life. And when millions of children face challenges, the consequences are national. No country can build a thriving, competitive economy on weak foundations of learning. But the reverse is also true. When we invest in foundational skills, we unlock productivity, we unlock innovation, and we unlock growth. We build a workforce that is innovative and can compete globally. We build a society that can prosper sustainably. We put in every home a doctor, an engineer, a chartered accountant, a lawyer, particularly in homes where this was not possible. We literally break the chains of poverty by investing in the literacy of our children. And that, for me, is my conviction. And that, despite how difficult the work is the reason why I get up in the morning. Because 13.7 million learners in South Africa deserve all of us to put our money where our mouth is and to say, I will be part of a solution. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be part of a generation of leaders that sat on the problem, that repeated the same failed strategies, that didn't think out of the box, that didn't say that I want to make a difference. I want to be part of a generation of leaders that changes the course of the trajectory of South African children, that says it doesn't matter if you come from Qwaqwa or Qumbu or Santon, that the pathway to your future would exactly be the same, and that you are not excluded from economic inclusion and prosperity simply because of the circumstances of your birth. And that, for me, I believe, is the conviction that unites us all in this room. That it doesn't matter where in South Africa you come from every single corner of this country, if you walk into a school, you must be able to access opportunity, you must be able to access a future that none of us, and perhaps your parents, would have never dreamed of. And so countries like China and Singapore were in similar positions 30, 50 years ago. They made deliberate, sustained investments in education. They prioritized literacy. They built strong school systems. They aligned education with the economic strategy. As a result, they transformed their societies within a generation, pulling millions of families out of poverty. And so In Africa, we must do the same. In South Africa, we must do the same. And I really invite you, not only just AVBOB and others, but to corporate South Africa and to the private sector and to our philanthropic partners, many of whom have been incredibly generous. I want to make this commitment to you, that every cent that you spend in the future of our children, at least as far as long as I am here, will go towards that future of those children. This is not about sloganeering, ladies and gentlemen. This is a crisis that we can defeat. This is a crisis that is not insurmountable. We can get every South African child to read and read for meaning and unlock an entire world where their circumstances of their birth is not a hindrance, but actually just a matter of where they come from. But we can't do that alone. We can only do that if we walk this road together. And so thank you to AVBOB for partnering with us in a sustainable way and saying we'll walk the journey with you. We understand the magnitude of the task. We don't want to ever start mentioning those stats again. We want to see a real shift, and we can only do that if we work together. And so let's continue walking this road together, the road to literacy, the road to opportunity, and the road to a thriving South Africa. And I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you for those words. I do have perhaps one little story to make you feel a little better about your awkward moment. All week I've been battling a horrible cold, and I think you can still hear it in my voice. So much so that yesterday I didn't go to work, I didn't go do my show because I just, I was barely audible. And in thinking about whether or not I might make it here this evening because, I was feeling so bad, one of my friends says, well, in the worst case scenario, you are with the right client. So I get it. But seriously, South Africa finds itself, you might say, at a critical road when it comes to our education. Minister says perhaps the stats are just awful when it comes to the number of learners who are unable to read at their grade level for meaning, who fall behind when it comes to numeracy. And I know often the argument is made that even when we are compared to our peers from the rest of the continent, that at least we can pat ourselves on the back because we declare our position and we report accurately. At least we know what the problem is, whereas perhaps some of our peers from the rest of the continent aren't as forthcoming with that information. But we must ask an important and I think an urgent question this evening. How do we move from access, which is what this campaign is really all about, to real, measurable impact, making sure that every child, regardless of background or ability, can read, can learn, and most importantly, can succeed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite some of the people you've already met to join me on stage, and we're going to have a short little panel discussion to explore some of these. May I invite you back to the stage, Minister Mosweusweu, and I'll also invite Ms. Mosweusweu from AVBOB to join us on stage, and of course, Ms. Karen Simpson, who's the Managing Director of the Oxford University Press, Southern Africa. Please join me. So I know the chairs are sort of facing that way, but they do swivel a little.
Okay.
So you're able to do that.
That's useful.
I suppose let's set the scene. We've got a problem. We can't deny the problem. Obviously, AVBOB has gone through an incredible journey to try and partner with the department to try and deal with the problem. But from your perspective, the 5th year of doing this as AVBOB, how big is our challenge?
Sure. Bongani, thank you very much. So the evidence is there, the research is there, and if we had to reference Pearl's research study that was conducted in 2021, we know that 80% of grade 4 learners are not able to read for meaning or, for comprehension. And there is a crisis. And if you even go to the lower grades, some of the evidence suggests that even grade 3 learners, the situation is even dire. So for us, really, we realized as AVBOB that early intervention is critical. And we've been involved in the quality education space since 2013. And we've got different programs, and maybe just to cite a few, the AVBOB Container Library Program, and now we've got the Road to Literacy Program. We've gone even further to invest in early childhood development, and we are working on a program to focus on senior phase. And that really shows the level of commitment that we have as AVBOB on the contribution to being part of the solution, the contribution to quality education. Now, when we talk about Road to Literacy, yes, 5 years into it, it started off as a noble idea, as a bold idea, I guess, but initially when we started off with thinking, 180 trolley libraries were significant. But the response that we have received, and maybe just a point to mention here, is that Road to Literacy is anchored on mobilization of the public. So public participation is critical, is at the center of this. So AVBOB does not own this program, but it makes it all of us being part of the solution, really. And this is what Road to Literacy is all about.
Right, Minister, respectfully, I'm going to skip you because we've heard a little from you, but I'll come back to you in just a moment. Karen Simpson, let me bring you into the conversation. As a publisher, education is your focus. Why is foundational learning so important in determining whether or not a child can succeed?
I mean, literacy is the ultimate gateway skill. I mean, if you can't learn to read, then you can't do anything in your learning. In fact, there's really great research that the Department of Education has done to prove that if even in grade 1 you can predict how well that child reads as to how well they're going to be achieving in grade 7. So that just shows how important it is to get it right in the early years of learning. And numeracy is obviously not possible without literacy. So we at Oxford do a huge amount of research into the pedagogy behind how learning takes place and make sure that we meet learners and teachers where they are, and really do a lot of capacity building in the market with teachers as well to try and build that skill. As the Minister has said, we're all partners in this process, and we're all really passionate about making this work in our country.
What role have you played in trying to strengthen those foundations?
I mean, the obvious, point as a publisher is that we create material. We have education experts in our office in every language and in every subject. But, more importantly, it's around, how do we capacitate teachers as well? It's one thing to bring resources to teachers, but how do they then use them in the classroom? So as Oxford, we train teachers. So in the last year, we've trained over 25,000 teachers completely free of charge. Sharing our pedagogy with them so that, our dream, which is that our products create an impact in the market, really can be realized. And in addition to this, we're also partnering with UNICEF and the department in the Northern Cape province to bring a really exciting literacy intervention program where we're coaching teachers and training teachers and delivering material. And we've learned a lot as a company around how literacy works and how intervention programs can drive real value in the whole system.
Minister, this is our second dance, as it were, at this event. And I think when we first had a conversation like this. You were at the hit the road running stage. You're now quite settled. And from a personal point of view, you can tell us all the data and all the research and what it all looks like. What has surprised you the most from your perception, perhaps before you took up this role, and indeed what you know now?
Look, I mean, I think a number of things have surprised me, and I think firstly, delving into the research around foundations of learning and why that is important, and I think probably people in South Africa probably think I sound a bit like a broken record when I say that if our foundations are weak, then everything that we do from then on is either too expensive or ineffective. And my view is, why would you want to invest in remedial action when you can actually invest right at the beginning? And I often say that one of my dreams is that South Africans can be as excited about the number of grade R learners who are ready to get into grade 1 as they are about the amount of learners who leave matric. If we can invert that pyramid and we can say to South Africa, grade R reading or grade R comprehension and cognitive development is ultimately the best indicator of whether or not people will be able to succeed in matric, that for me is actually where the focus should be. And I've made my entire time in office really focusing on foundational literacy and numeracy and saying that it should take care of itself. Matric results will take care of themselves. If we get the foundations right, we never have to force children to go to Saturday schools, force them to go into extra classes. They would have had the foundations right, and they would have laid the foundations right. But I've also been surprised, and I think positively, by the response from corporate, from social, from civil society, from all our partners who have responded positively to what I call the strategic reorientation of our basic education system. And they've said, count us in. We're ready to be part of it. And as you've already said, Kebo, earlier, that you've even started getting into the ECD space. Because, of course, the 0 to 5 is just as important as the 6 to all the way to 18-year-old. And so that's why the foundations of literacy for us is about combining that, the work that we're doing with the 0 to 5, and then the work between 6 all the way to matric. So I've been surprised by a number of things, positively and negatively, but what I think is different between the conversation we had last year and the conversation we're having now is my clarity of thought and my absolute conviction about what needs to be done.
So if, from what you're saying, if prevention is better than cure, as it were, how acute is this sickness? And what does a campaign like this do to make the patient a little better?
Yeah. And I mean, I like what you said about the fact that this is not just about, putting books in classrooms. The reality is that it's a movement. And what I loved about the Road to Literacy campaign this year is getting involved in encouraging people to nominate primary schools that they think need this kind of donation, and because it says to me that parents, teachers, people in society are actually thinking about the fact that reading is absolutely critical for their children, because there's only so much time that children spend in school, but there's a lot of time that children spend at home. And I often say to people, read to your children, read the Bible, read whatever, read the Quran, read to your children and let them read to you. It is a skill that will set them up for life. Yeah. And so for me, that's what I really enjoy about a campaign like this. And as I said, I mean, a really significant statistic that says out of 24,000 schools, a quarter of those schools have been touched by this program. And that is really a significant thing that AVBOB, I think, can be proud of.
So, Kebo, I mean, we've heard the numbers from the millions of actual rand spent to the number of children reached, the schools. Scalability is one thing. How do we make sure that those big numbers translate into meaningful outcomes?
So, yes, scale is something, it's one thing, but impact is another thing. And really for us, it's about, yes, it's important to, we haven't even, it's only a quarter, we were just talking about a quarter. So it's important that we continue to focus on driving scale and getting to, those underserved communities. But most importantly, is for us to make sure that the usage, the utilization of these trolley libraries, we drive it. And the utilization needs to happen in, natural spaces, in the natural way of a learning cycle or the learning approach, be it in a school, be it in a classroom, be it a reading corner, and even outdoors. And the one thing about this campaign also is that we are not only focusing on primary schools, we are also we are also focusing on education NPOs. So they also they are the beneficiaries of this campaign, and we see that as a way of reaching out to communities and extending that inclusivity not only to primary schools but also to NPOs. So we really want to encourage our educators, encourage our parents, and all stakeholders at large to make sure that we utilize these trolley libraries. The trolley libraries are designed in such a way that they can move from one classroom to the next. So they don't have to, they're not static, they don't stay at the same place. They actually can move from one classroom to the next.
Let me pick up on that word, inclusivity. Karen, inclusive publishing. I like what you said earlier about meeting the children where they are, because I can imagine the disincentive if you are that child who is already a little behind, how intimidating all of this material can be. How do you help overcome that?
I really believe that it's all of our responsibility as people who work in the education ecosystem to remove barriers to learning in all of their forms. So we, tonight, obviously, we are launching our Braille trolleys, which is one form of inclusivity. But another form is, can children see themselves in the books that they are exposed to? And that's also a barrier. So can they see children like themselves succeeding? Can they, see their own communities represented in titles? And also, can they actually read the words in the books? So it's not good enough that they are just books, because let's be honest, AI can create books. It's important that we get the right books with the right content, written at exactly the right language level, representing our beautiful country in exactly the way they need to be represented. And we do that by going out into the market and testing and working with teachers and speaking to children about, what they want to see, and, making sure that we really are representing our beautiful country in the books that we create for them.
Minister, quite clearly, the scale of the problem, as we've already discussed, means, as you also said, that government can't do it alone. You need partnerships. This is an example of one. You mentioned that corporates are saying, we want to come on board. Just give us possibilities in terms of the areas. If you, could throw the bones or have a genie in a bottle, what would you wish for?
I prefer the bones. So look, my message to anyone in the room who's listening about where's our burning platforms, and I can tell you this. Our burning platforms is really trying to reach, in South Africa, there's 7 million children. Only 1.3 million of them are in a registered ECD center that is structured with structured play, a meal a day, and practitioners. So we are trying to reach the other children, the other 5.5 million. I'm a political scientist, so the numbers do evade me sometimes. But we are trying to reach the other children, like millions of children, and that's a fraction of what we have to do. And we're trying to reach them as quickly as possible. And we're trying to register ECD centers. We're trying to upgrade ECD centers. We're trying to upgrade the practitioners in there so that we can unlock the government subsidy. We've been given 10 billion rand over the MTEF, which is the next 3-year cycle, to be able to have 24 rand a day for a child. But an ECD that's not registered, that is not meeting the criteria that it needs to meet, it means that those children in that ECD can't access that grant. So I'm imploring you to help me on the journey of finding the 0 to 5s, the ECD centers. Let's not only register them, that's our responsibility. Let's upgrade them. Let's upgrade the Dani who just was looking after children in her backyard. Let's find blended financing models that says, let's find municipal land, build spaces where children can actually play and be safe. The other burning platform is obviously the issue around literacy. And that starts at the 0 to 5, but then it translates itself to grade R and all the way to grade 3. I dream of it, as I said to you, that one day that we are going to have at least a national standard benchmarking test that's taken by grade R learners so that we can see what we're dealing with. Not only because we want to compete or we want to criticize, but we want to be able to see where the learning losses. So thinking partners are incredibly important. It's not just about your money, although the money is quite important. And then, of course, teacher development is incredibly important. You can do everything that you want, but if you're leaving teachers behind, you are not going to be able to make the kind of impact that you want to make. And I think if we can even just focus on those things, just those things alone, and our maths improvement plan between grade 10 and grade 12, if we can just focus on those things for the next 2.5 years, I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, we will be able to shift the needle. And I truly believe that government is really, really bad at prioritizing. So I'm very, very clear about making sure that the vision is crystal clear. Where are we all going and where are we all targeting? There's multiple crises. There's schools that need to be built. There's multiple crises in the sector. But for me, the question that I ask is, what's going to shift the needle for generations to come? And if we commit to that single thing for a period of time, we can change the trajectory of South Africa's children.
Kebo, it is about the money. We'll be talking in a moment about some of this year's beneficiaries and some of the awardees. But let's look ahead as to what can be done more next year. I mean, certainly I will be back. But what lies ahead?
So what lies ahead is driving penetration as in terms of scale and utilization. What is important for us is also the monitoring, the evaluation, and the learning. So in our programs, we make sure that we are very intentional about making sure that the programs are delivering the value that they're designed to deliver. But I appreciate the fact that the minister has already also mentioned the point around the capacitating our teachers. And that's our next step, to say, okay, in our programs, it's an ecosystem. Let's recognize the fact that all this is happening within an ecosystem. And there are these critical touch points that we need to make sure that we touch and we somehow contribute and we are part of the solution. And I think to a large extent, we have left our educators behind as well. So as we continue on this journey, for us at AVBOB, the journey is not only about foundational literacy and numeracy, but it's really around quality education ultimately. And really that is where we are going to be seeing the sustainable social impact that we want to deliver.
I mean, one of the things that stands out for me about tonight in this program, Karen, has to be this principle broadly of leaving no one behind. Whether it's representation and children seeing themselves in the stories and the material that's presented to them. The Braille trolley is such a fantastic idea. I mean, I think that alone just... But also making sure, as we've heard, it's one thing to intervene for the children, but what about the educators who have to teach them? So as we wrap up this conversation, what's your way forward? What do you think is possible?
We've been going out to some of the schools who've been beneficiaries of the trolleys and really talking to the teachers and the learners there about what else would assist them. And I know that, Kebo and I and our teams have already started to think about how we can, expand this program by providing more support around what we're doing. So I think as Oxford, our reason for being is to create impact and not just scale. And so that will be our big mission for the next years, to make sure that the trolleys that we've put in these schools over the last 5 years are really delivering that impact, and that our teachers feel empowered to use them, and that our parents, when those books come home, feel that they're empowered to know how to talk to their children, how to ask them to predict, how to ask them questions, so that we really can drive that comprehension that we are so desperate for among our grade 4 learners. We're just desperate for that statistic to change. And I'm absolutely certain that if we keep on this path, with everybody in the country working towards this, we will achieve that outcome.
Minister, perhaps let's let you have the last word, the road ahead.
Look, I'm optimistic. I suppose I am an eternal optimist, but I'm optimistic because there's an air and a mood in South Africa that says that, at least the people that I'm speaking to, who are saying, I want to be part of the solution. What can I do? And what an incredible...
Tumamina?
Sorry?
Tumamina?
Exactly. So, what can I do? Where can I fit in? And what an incredible space to be in, where people are saying, we understand the scale of the problem. We don't just want to navel gaze. We want to get stuck in, but where do we get stuck in? So what I want to assure, I think the people in the room, firstly, is that when we do come to you and knock on your door, number one, we want to be accountable for every single cent that you spend in our schools and in our communities. Number two, we want to be able to show you impact of what you've been able to do in our schools and in our communities. And number three, we are not going to be scatterbrained. We are going to be focused, laser focused on this particular priority. And so we invite you. We are designing systems and exciting ways of working with triple Ps, blended financing models, all of these things that are going to help us be able to, one, trust one another, be able to be accountable to one another, but there's at the same time moving the needle. So I'm optimistic, and I know this is a long-term project, and I suppose the millennial curse that I have is that I want to see impact and I want to see it now. But perhaps then that can also help us drive results a little bit quicker.
Well, I think my thanks to all three of you for this conversation. I think it's set us up really, really nicely for the rest of the evening. Folks, please, a round of applause for my panelists. The four of us are going to exit the stage now, and I think it's time for us to watch a little video sort of setting the scene for this evening in terms of the road to literacy.
Thank you, AVBOB and Oxford for the Holy Land. I thank you.
At AVBOB, we recognize that education is not just a right and a national priority. It's a promise. This initiative is far more than a campaign. It is a reflection of who we are as a mutual society.
Working on this project has given me a purpose in being involved with the lives of South African children by giving them the books and the trolleys. Some of them stay far from the libraries, so them getting the trolleys is much closer, so they don't have to walk miles to get the books.
So my role in the AVBOB Road to Literacy campaign is to manage an end-to-end process from the manufacture of the trolley library to the delivery thereof.
By joining forces with Oxford University Press, Southern Africa, we've turned a shared vision into action.
Over the last 10 years, there's been extensive research in South Africa to show that learning in your mother tongue, especially in the early years of learning, improves learning outcomes throughout your learning journey.
Contributing to South African education means a lot to me, that I am giving them hope.
to Literacy has made a huge impact in our learners. Since we have these libraries, they have the love and the passion for reading on their own. So that simply means whenever we are in the class, they are there with us.
Access to books is important for my daughter and other learners and other kids, because now in the community we're struggling with gangsterism. Kids are on the streets, so the books, they will keep them busy, because now we are crying out loud as community. The gangsterism is so high, so the trolley library will help a lot.
I enjoy reading and exploring new worlds and new topics and understanding different themes, characters and stories and all those kinds of stuff.
My daughter, she's now fluent in reading. She enjoys the books. Her pronunciations are clearer now.
To me, reading improved in many ways, in my grammar, in my writing skills and pronunciation, and also helped me how to think critically or carefully.
We have a campaign that on Mondays and Fridays, we have different learners reading. So each and every learner now wants to go on the stage so that they can read in front of the whole school.
My favorite book is The Man Who Was Not Satisfied, because I've learned that I must always be proud of what I have.
Our learners are now able to read with understanding because we have the mobile library that they can always go to.
I have nominated the school, Kutala Primary School, because I saw a real need for reading resources at the school. I wanted to give the learners an opportunity to develop the love for reading and improve their literacy skill from an early age.
At Oxford University Press, we believe that every child deserves the power of stories in their own language. Literacy is far more than learning to read. It's about belonging and identity and opportunity.
By adding Braille books to the campaign this year, AVBOB is ensuring that the Road to Literacy campaign evolves to reflect the diversity of our nation and meet the needs of all learners through expanding our reach of literacy to children who are visually impaired, ensuring that every child has access to the same opportunities for education and personal development.
I've had the incredible privilege of being able to talk to principals and teachers and learners who have benefited from the project. And gosh, hearing the stories of the difference these trolleys have really made in the schools and communities has just been nothing short of inspirational.
When we started this journey at AVBOB, we intentionally created purpose-driven solutions to contribute to addressing the socio-economic challenges of our country. At its core, the AVBOB Road to Literacy campaign is about people, about values-based partnerships, and most importantly, public participation. It reflects AVBOB's commitment to putting communities first. Through this initiative, we are focused on making purpose-driven solutions where it matters the most for generations to come.
All right, folks, I have an easy job this evening because, like all of you, I get to watch the beneficiary announcement moment and experience it in the same way you will. And really, without any further ado, we have come to that moment of announcing our first set of beneficiaries for this evening. And for each beneficiary, there is a little video that explains why and who it is that is receiving, obviously being able to be recognized and being a beneficiary. So without any further ado, let us meet our first set of beneficiaries.
Mosweusweu Primary School. It's a rural school in Beneficiary with 1,775 learners. Many of these learners, especially those in grade R to grade 3, have limited access to reading books. At the moment, the books available are simply not enough for a school of this size. Many are old, torn, missing pages, or no longer aligned with the curriculum. In many cases, 2 or more learners have to share one book, and there are very few colorful age-appropriate readers for young children. The limited library space cannot accommodate many classes, making access very harder for the foundation learners who are still developing basic reading skills. A moving library trolley from AVBOB will make a huge difference. It will bring new colorful books directly into classrooms and allow teachers to rotate resources. It will also improve literacy skill, encourage independent reading, and give learners daily opportunity to read with confidence and joy. Mosweusweu Primary already values reading. The trolley will help that love of reading truly grows.
Organization offers an after-school program with a strong focus on academics. It centers on reading to build confidence, writing to improve spelling, and supporting learners with their homework, assignments, and exam preparation. This organization is new, passionate, and eager to improve academic excellence and responsibility, but we are struggling to secure donations. At the moment, learners rely only on their workbooks for reading, writing, and homework. Donation letters have been sent out, but no responses have been received. A trolley library would be life-changing. It would introduce different types of books, build eagerness to read, and expose our learners to new ideas. We are praying and hoping for a chance to get the opportunity to receive our first learning materials donation from AVBOB and Oxford.
Support this school is a decision rooted in an urgency to address profound educational disparities. The Eastern Cape remains the epicenter of the country's rural poverty crisis, and selecting this school is a commitment to dismantling a legacy of systemic neglect and providing a lifeline to a community that is too often overlooked. At our school, there are simply not enough books. In many classes, 3 or 4 children must share a single textbook. The school is in a village with no print-rich environment. Reading resources are limited and outdated, resulting in struggling readers and low motivation. Yet, the willingness to read is there. Every week, a bell rings and everyone, learners, teachers, the principal, even the cleaners, stops to read for 30 minutes. It sends a powerful message that reading matters. A trolley library would allow this reading culture to truly flourish. It would bring new, colorful books to every classroom, protect them, and give every child the chance to read and to dream.
I chose the school because of the socio-economic challenges the community is facing. Many learners are experiencing learning difficulties, and reading is a contributing factor to the school's chronic underperformance. I truly want to see these learners match the standard of learners from quintile 2 to 4 schools, regardless of their background. At present, the school does not have enough books for the high enrollment. Most of the books are old, damaged, and too advanced for primary school learners. There is very limited variety, and learners do not have enough materials to explore or choose from. A trolley library would bring new books into the school, promote a love for reading, and help learners improve fluency and confidence. Teachers could use these books for lessons, storytelling, and group work. Books that will really interest the learners. The school already values reading so much. With the right books, these efforts can truly transform learning.
I am nominating Roy Primary School because it is based in a rural area where learners still do not receive the same opportunities as those in township schools. When I was a learner here, we did not have the chance to invest in reading, to grow our vocabulary, or to develop a strong learning culture. Sadly, those same reading challenges still exist today. The school does not have a library. Reading mainly happens only during class periods, and there is not enough time. Learners struggle especially with reading in English and Siswati because there are no extra books available. A trolley library would change this. Since the school and the community do not have a library, this trolley would help establish a true culture of reading. The community supports and protects the school, with mothers helping in the kitchen and community members ensuring the learners' safety. These learners deserve every opportunity, and this trolley can help open the door to a brighter future.
I was trying to figure out if I should come all the way here when I've got a mic. You may be wondering, because it may feel to you that, gosh, it's taking a little moment. There's quite a few schools there. And that was done deliberately. Because sometimes when you throw out a big number in terms of the number of trolleys, the number of schools, you don't really get a sense of it. But when you sit there watching these slides and going through every little school, you then begin to see the real potential of the impact of this road to literacy. So what we'll do is we'll take a little bit of a break, if you will, from the beneficiary announcements. Please, may I invite our OLAG choir to come back on stage. As we say in the Eastern Cape, they're going to render an item. No, please enjoy African Child by the OLAG choir.
of my village. So all stages, I'm crossing finish lines. I have earned my spot. I am proud to be an African. Ooh, I'm a champion. Zenbo, iyelele, 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 oh, bese basombona. Iyelele, 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 oh. It's time to celebrate the victories of an African warrior. Tell the world I'm an African child. Shabalala, 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 shabalala. I was born in Africa. Shabalala, I was raised to be a warrior. Shabalala, I'm a champion. Shabalala, shabalala, tell the world I'm an African child. Shabalala, 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 Ikawe. Shabalala, shabalala, shabalala. I was born in Africa. Shabalala, I was raised to be a warrior. Shabalala, I'm a champion. Shabalala, I hear the footsteps of victory, echoing champion, champion. Listen to the sounds of victory, echoing champion, champion. Kawe, kawe, kuku, kuku. Wena, wena, wazi, wazi. Kutana, kutana. Champion, champion. I am proud to be an African. Ooh, I'm a champion.
Another round of applause, please, to our OLAG choir. We'll be seeing a little bit more of them a little later on in our program. All right, we're going to move on to the rest of the provinces, the remaining beneficiaries that we will be announcing. And of course, for those of you who are watching this on our streaming, I'm sure you'll be able to see the slides and see the names of the schools. And I was curious if any of you, whatever province you may come from, any of you who are in the room, because very few of us are necessarily born in Gauteng. Many of us come from other provinces. There are a couple of schools from the Eastern Cape that I could say, yes, I know that school, I know that school, I know where, for example, EWPS is, although we used to call it EWPS. Here are the rest of our beneficiaries.
Saddens me to see so many young minds that have not been nurtured by the habit of reading. This lack of engagement with literature makes it increasingly difficult for teachers to convey complex concepts and ideas. Reading is more than words on paper. It builds vocabulary, comprehension, critical thinking, creativity, and imagination. Without it, children miss the chance to expand their worldview. Our current collection of books is outdated, inadequate, and in poor condition. The situation has been made even harder by criminal acts, including the burning of classrooms. Without books, a school like ours lacks the essential blueprint for education. Books are the tools that bridge the gap between teachers' lesson and the students' long-term understanding. A trolley library would restore that bridge. It would give learners access to engaging, meaningful reading material, and help rebuild a strong foundation for literacy, academic success, and lifelong learning.
In our community, this school is more than a place of learning. It is a place of hope. Every day, I see the impact they make on the lives of our children. When parents cannot afford fees, this school does not turn a child away because they believe every child deserves an education. They provide quality learning, a safe environment, nutritious meals, and kindness. They support families through soup kitchens, feeding schemes, and community projects. They open their doors to the elderly, to local events, and to any child who needs a haven. But they're struggling. Their books are few, old, and damaged. There are more children now and not enough resources. Many of these children come from homes where reading is not part of daily life. A trolley library would change everything. It would put new books into eager hands, build confidence, improve speech, and inspire a love of reading. This school is planting the seed of a literate future. They just need the tools to help those seeds grow.
Lukumbos Primary School is situated in Kraaifontein, in an area dominated by high unemployment, crime, child neglect, and other social ills. Yet despite these challenges, the school is proving what is possible. In the recent systemic tests, Lukumbos Primary improved from 21% in 2024 to 55.5% in 2025. This is a remarkable achievement in the history of the school and shows our potential to do even more with the right resources. The school relies mainly on departmental allocations, which must cover many needs, from textbooks and municipal services to sport and cleaning materials. Because of growing enrollments and learners arriving from other provinces, there are not enough books for every child. This has created a serious gap in reading with understanding. A trolley library would give learners access to books for homework and daily reading. It will bring a new drive and a desire for reading with understanding in our learners. Lukumbos Primary is the heart of its community, hosting meetings, elections, church services, and working with SAPs to address crime. Supporting this school is supporting a community striving for a better future through literacy.
Tower Maths and Science Academy. It is with great purpose that we nominate our school for the Road to Literacy campaign. Our school has no library and very limited reading resources, which continues to disadvantage our learners. We aim to build a 100% literate community by promoting reading over excessive gadget use. Reading strengthens vocabulary, grammar, comprehension, and critical thinking. It opens minds and inspires a lifelong love of learning. The few books that we have are outdated and worn. There's very little variety and not enough leveled books to support guided and independent reading. A trolley library would change this reality. It would help us set up a functional library space with quality, age-appropriate books that can accommodate every child in the school. It would give our learners regular access to reading and bring something long-lasting back to our community.
Well, firstly, congratulations to all of the beneficiaries that have been announced this evening. I think it's been absolutely remarkable, and this campaign is something all of us who are here tonight can be proud to be associated with and to have witnessed. And I would say we wish all of the recipients, all of the schools, all of the educators, all of the learners and the communities that they come from every success. Of course, I mentioned those who are watching us on our live streaming, And whilst they've had the benefit of everything we have witnessed so far, they are not here, are they? So it is time to say farewell to those of you who are watching via our live streaming service, but we'll have a little bit more excitement and entertainment. I'm sure you can see to my right, we have a marimba band in the house. May I ask the marimba players to come forward, and can the OLAG choir return to the stage for a little bit of entertainment?
Sajabula Mona,
Now, if that doesn't deserve a standing ovation, I don't know what does. We've spoken about a number of things this evening. Learners who see themselves in the material they use to learn. We've spoken about communities that support those learners. We've spoken about teachers that also need support. Did you see the passion of the music director. Come on now. Come on now. I mean, obviously she's got passion for the music, but I think she's got passion for those kids. And they have passion for her. So congratulations to the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls. You have been absolutely fantastic. From the choir, to the marimba band, to your teachers, to the other band that was performing in the background. Well done, well done, well done. I did say goodbye to our viewers on the live stream, but we also have a number of viewers watching us on various SABC platforms, and they've stayed with us. So thank you for that. Thank you to everyone who has come this evening. Thank you to the minister, to the department, to the support staff. Thank you to Oxford University Press, South Africa. And of course, thank you to AVBOB for the vision, for the generosity, for the dedication and the staying power. Thank you to everyone who was with us this evening. On that note, we'll have to say good night. Busuku benzolo.